Your side.
Courtney, thank you. Cincinnati's vice mayor introduced a motion in council requiring the so-called Gang of Five to repay their legal fees. The members of the group are Tamaya Denard, Greg Landsman, P.G. Sittenfeld, Chris Seelbach, and Wendell Young. The city has paid around $176,000 of their legal fees after they admitted to violating the state's open meeting law. Last month, Ohio's state auditor made a referral for criminal prosecution against the 5 Democrats.
This council wants to move forward with the motions that I have before council. We can't do that possibly because a majority of council is involved in the case.
Vice Mayor Christopher Smitherman has a list of questions he wants the city's legal team to answer so that council can resolve this issue.
Well, it looks like the Sky Galley will not be closing after all. Today, the city and restaurant owners tell 900 Side they've now agreed to a new lease. The galley has been open for decades, but the Lunken Airport restaurant's future was in jeopardy after the city said it would not renew the lease back in December. The new lease will be finalized this month. Well, a federal judge decides tomorrow if Evans landscaping owner Doug Evans will go to prison or for fraud, that is. A jury found Evans guilty more than a year ago of using a shell company to win millions in minority contracts from the city of Cincinnati and also the state. Doug Evans' sentencing comes more than 6 years after the FBI began investigating Evans landscaping. Former federal prosecutor Ralph Conan says that the government may try to make an example out of Evans by asking for a long prison sentence.
The theory is the best way to deter is to make somebody who got caught and convicted pay a dear price.
Coming up at 6 o'clock, investigative reporter Paula Christian explains what could happen in court tomorrow.
The city stepped in after a major warehouse caught fire and then needed to be torn down.
Just ahead at 5, the city's efforts to get the money used for demolition back.
A potential split within the United Methodist Church. Why some people say it's a good thing for both sides.
A lot of sunshine out there now and some pretty nice weather next couple of days, but really big changes. Exceptionally warm air and too much rain heading our way. I'll have your 7-day coming up.
You're watching 9 on Your Side at 5.
The United Methodist Church announced a proposal to split into 2 factions over LGBTQ issues. That happened last week. Over the weekend, local churches discussed the plans with their members and explained what potential impacts are within the congregations.
Yeah, that's right. 9 on Your Side's Marielle Carbone has been talking to a number of church leaders and parishioners on both sides of this issue. Marielle, what are people saying about it?
Yeah, well, members here at the Clifton United Methodist Church, some of them saying that if this were to pass, it would be a relief and make them feel a little bit more proud walking through the doors here and saying that they are a Methodist. But others say it could lead to an identity crisis, making them question the faith that they've been following for years.
My heart's been heavy for decades. Hearing that we have open doors when we don't.
But that could be changing, in part because of a proposal to split the United Methodist Church. For Clifton UMC member Russell White, it would be a relief.
To know when I walk through the door anymore, I don't have that weight hanging on me.
The church announced the idea Friday. Under the proposal, one section, which would stay the United Methodist Church in name, would allow same-sex marriage and LGBTQ clergy members. The other, considered the more traditionalist UMC, would not allow those same stances.
Today we celebrated.
Cincinnati Reverend David Meredith was one of 16 people to help write and sign off on the proposal.
What does it mean tomorrow and the next day? Well, it means we're still going to work toward this dream and vision.
But not everyone is celebrating the plan.
There's a lot of emotion.
Many on social media are expressing anger, sadness, and frustration. David Grout is the senior pastor at Florence United Methodist Church, which he describes as more traditionalist.
To suddenly realize, I was baptized there, I was married there, a lot of that identity is going to be challenged.
He's also stressing that a change is not complete. A vote will be taken on this at the Worldwide Conference in May.
What comes into a legislative process, what comes out of a legislative process aren't usually exactly the same thing.
And now if the split is approved, $25 million will go to that new denomination to help with infrastructure and different administrative tasks. But Braun also says that it's still unclear what will happen with the logo and the names on all of these churches and which churches would actually fall on which side of the split. So a lot still here to come in May. For now, reporting live in Clifton, Marielle Carbone, 9 on your side.
All right, Marielle, thank you. One person has died after a motorcycle crash in Whitewater Township. Chopper 9 flew over the scene this morning. Deputies say the motorcycle driven by Michael DeChow hit a guardrail on Sand Sun Road. You can see the scene here. DeChow was thrown from the bike and ended up in the creek there. A passing driver saw the motorcycle and then called 911. Just before 3 a.m., DeChow was pronounced dead there at the scene. Meanwhile, grief counselors were at Talawanda High School today to help students cope with the loss of a classmate. 15-year-old Bryce Heiser died on New Year's Eve after a car he was riding in crashed into the woods at Oxford Pike and Durrell Road. The cause of that crash remains under investigation. Heiser was a freshman at Talawanda.
6 months after Hamilton hired a company to demolish an abandoned warehouse destroyed by fire, the city is still hoping to recover the cost. In July, the building on Lauren Avenue went up in flames. The same day as the fire, city leaders informed the building's owner, Coast Boulevard Associates LLC, that the building was in imminent danger of collapse and had to be torn down immediately. The city hired a company to level the building for $186,000. Since then, the city has filed a lawsuit, hoping a judge would rule Coast Boulevard Associates has to reimburse the city for the demolition. All right, check your pockets. A winning Powerball ticket worth $100,000 was sold at Blue Pantry in Walton, Kentucky. The winning ticket from Saturday night's drawing matched 4 of the first 5 numbers and the Powerball. The prize usually pays $50,000. However, the winner chose to spend an additional $1 for the Power Play feature. The winning numbers are 1, 11, 21, 25, 54, and Powerball 7. The Power Play number was 2.
They're probably scrambling right now to look for that ticket.
Look for the tickets, yeah.
And they also went, I'll throw the extra $1 on. What the heck? Nice move.
Very nice move.
Nice move.
That's a great New Year's gift.
Yeah, it sure is.
You know, all in all today wasn't too bad.
No, yeah. Temperatures in the mid to upper 40s, some sunshine.
January?
And it's going to be, this time of the year, we're stealing them away. Next few days going to be very quiet, okay? So, you know, we like to step out, go beyond the smartphone. You could maybe find that out. Sure. What I don't think folks know is what's going to be happening here on Thursday and at the end of the week, because that is the big news in weather. Here's the setup as we stand into this week. We are going to see an unusual area of high pressure that brings us really warm, moist air. So the upside is we're going to be threatening records around here for the tri-state. On the other side of the coin, because of the jet stream, because of that warm, moist air, the setup, there's a potential and a higher potential for flooding as we head to the end of the week with a lot of rain. Let me show you how it all shakes out. First, this will give you kind of an early cut at what we're looking at as we head toward the weekend. We're looking at the potential for 3-4 inches of rain, and in some estimations, even higher than that in a cumulative fashion from that Thursday point to Saturday. So by Saturday, when we get hit with a couple of inches of rain, we could very well be talking about some flooding. So this is going to be important to watch over the next few days ahead. Now, things could change, and it's going to be a tight play. I say that because look at Cincinnati, look at Louisville, then Lexington, Huntington, Somerset. So you'll see that fine line that's going to be happening right across the area as it stands tonight. So certainly this can change, but I wanted to give you a heads up that this is going to happen. We're going to see some warm, moist air, all due to a really strong area of high pressure. We've got one around now that gave us all a nice sunshine, and, well, we're about 11 degrees above average today. As we head into later tonight, we lose that high, and we're going to gain some cloudiness going into tomorrow morning. You'll notice there's a rainmaker that's just going to graze a portion of the tri-state by Robertson and Bracken, Mason, Adams County. Most folks will likely just see some partly cloudy to maybe even mostly cloudy skies late tonight, early tomorrow morning, but we're going to clear out nicely for our Tuesday. So we're going to get back into sunshine and 40-degree temperatures again tomorrow. So almost a replay except for the clouds in the morning. Then we'll see some cooler air kind of ushered in, and we'll be more seasonal on Wednesday. Temperatures are going to drop. And then, as I've already kind of headlined here, by Thursday, we're going to start to see the clouds move in. Right now, the timing looks to be afternoon, evening. still in flux a little bit, but certainly by Thursday night later on, it'll be raining on Friday, and then that heavier rain coming in on Saturday before the front clears and we start drying out, at least from a rain standpoint, although I think there'll still be some clouds coming up on Sunday. So important weather coming up here in the forecast, but this is the upside to what's happening. We're going to see temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s by Friday in the forecast, so likelihood of some records at the end of the week. 44 degrees outside right now as we head through and around the greater Cincinnati area. We're looking at temperatures that'll fall into the 30s by about 8 o'clock for tonight, and the clouds will start thickening up. The lows overnight, either side of about 30 degrees across the tri-state, and tomorrow I mentioned we're back into the middle 40s. Here's the story for Cincinnati. 30 degrees will cloud up a little bit. That slight chance for a small portion of the tri-state. Then mostly sunny after the clouds in the morning and 45 degrees. So we cool down a little bit on Wednesday, 39, and then that warm air kicks in. Warm and windy on Thursday. The nighttime rain, and more rain then Friday and Saturday, Kristen.
Oh boy, thank you, Steve. The 24th season of The Bachelor premieres tonight on 9 on Your Side. 28-year-old Peter Weber, a Delta Airlines pilot from California, was chosen to be this season's Bachelor. He finished third on the 15th season of The Bachelorette featuring Hannah Brown. Hannah also makes an appearance on this season of The Bachelor. The 3-hour premiere starts tonight at 8 o'clock, followed by 9 on Your Side at 11. 3 hours.
You know, wasn't Gilligan's Island, was that a 3-hour cruise?
A 3-hour
yeah.
tour.
Yeah, so just saying. Good luck, Bachelor fans. All right, straight ahead. Ohio is well known for being a battleground state during the elections, right? And for one candidate, it's going to be a real uphill fight.
In the next hour, why Democratic candidate Andrew Yang is launching a write-in campaign.
And also, an Ohio teen has been missing for more than 2 weeks now. Next at 5, the latest efforts for information leading to his safe return.
The reward for information leading to the safe return of a missing Ohio teenager is now $17,555. Port Clinton police near Toledo say no one has seen or heard from 14-year-old Harley Dilley since December 20th. Since then, police and rescue teams have searched 150 acres of land around Port Clinton. Police believe he is in danger. They say he wasn't dressed to be outside for long periods of time. As for the search, as it continues for the teen, counselors are helping his classmates cope with his disappearance.
Well, if you know anyone who has a fitness tracker, chances are you've heard them talk about getting their steps in, right? Well, the Fitbit and other trackers automatically set a goal of 10,000 steps a day for users. But fitness experts say there's not a lot of science behind that number. It actually started as a marketing tool to sell a pedometer back in the 60s and just became a standard simply because it's easy to remember. Experts tell USA Today that you really should set your own goal. They also say figure out your steps for a regular day, then aim to get 2,000 more than that. Most people take between 4,000 and 5,000 steps daily. All right, Alexa is adding one more skill to her resume. Soon you'll be able to use the Amazon virtual assistant to fill up your gas tank. ExxonMobil and Amazon announced their new partnership today. Starting in April, more than 11,000 stations will accept payments via Alexa voice command. Drivers will confirm their location and pump number and then pay using payment options stored in their Amazon account. Everything is becoming virtual.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Napoleon once said an army marches on its stomach, but now more veterans are having a difficult time putting food on their plates. In today's Homefront, how the Cincinnati VA Medical Center is overcoming pride to feed vets and their families.
And consumer reporter John Matarese has a warning for anyone with Spectrum Home Security. The company will be dropping it, leaving customers with hundreds of dollars worth of equipment. What you can do if you are in that situation.
9 on Your Side starts now.
All right, there is a good chance you're either about to eat dinner or perhaps just finished up. For some veterans in the tri-state, that's a luxury not as easily obtained for a variety of reasons, and the Cincinnati VA Medical Center is doing its part to make changes.
Just to get our veterans the food that they don't have means a lot.
Jason Roberts is a registered dietitian here at the Cincinnati VA Medical Center.
Because they are food insecure.
Sarah Kraskowski-Moon is an Army veteran and a current nurse practitioner.
So food insecurity is a complex issue when you talk about veterans.
She's also the program manager of the Health Promotion Program.
And when you can really help that veteran that day that's hungry, it just makes the whole team, everyone feels so good.
And they're both part of something very unique here.
It had always been our hope that we would have an on-site food pantry. So that really morphed into our food pantry here in primary care, and I'm happy to say that we are the first of its kind in the nation.
We have a wide selection, as you can see, chicken, lean chicken, tuna, peanut butter, beans. So we're trying to meet our needs of our veterans. I like to call it a Band-Aid just to help get them to the community services that are out there.
It looks like a little closet. It's nothing great, but we feed between 100 and 150 veterans and their family every month.
The initial answer I may get is, no, I'm good.
Nurse Monique Bradley says it can be a challenge for veterans in need to be honest.
Because there's a lot of pride. There's a
lot of pride.
You kind of have to break through.
Yes, but I just try to do it because I'm not judging you.
Yeah.
Everyone's been low.
A Cambridge University study found a quarter of our nation's vets have food insecurity. 12% are in the most extreme category. And on top of that, nearly 1.5 million veterans rely on food stamps through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
We hope to see those numbers improve, but right now we got to get our veterans food when they need it. So we want a non-judgmental environment where they can feel comfortable coming to us.
Our hope is to have a food pantry in each of our community-based outpatient clinics, and we have 6 of those in Cincinnati. And we have about 40,000 primary care visits a year.
If a doctor or nurse realizes a veteran is in need of supplemental food, they actually fill the bags right then and there, and the vet leaves with multiple meals for each member in the family. The VA also then links them to the services for further assistance. By the way, if you have a veteran-centered story in your community, I'd love to hear from you. Email homefront@wcpo.com.